Right now at noon, the driver in a deadly crash in Cottage Grove faces homicide charges. What the criminal complaint reveals about what may have led up to the incident. Plus, President Trump meets with Canada's new prime minister in the face of a trade and political tension between the two leaders. This is News 3 Now at noon, live from our Madison studios. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. Developing right now, a man is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries from a stabbing in Fitchburg. It happened outside the Monkey Shines Bar and Grill around 1 o'clock this morning. When police got there, those involved had already left. A short time later, officers got word that a man checked into a hospital with stab wounds. Investigators believe the people involved knew each other. Anyone with information is asked to call Fitchburg police. Now to that Dr. Cami Hansen. A criminal complaint says the man accused intentionally hit the Hansen family due to an ongoing issue between the families. Jeffrey Endress of Cottage Grove now faces escalated charges, including first-degree intentional homicide, 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, and mistreatment of animals causing death. Those charges are a major shift from what prosecutors initially filed last week. At first, all charges were categorized as reckless. The criminal complaint gives more insight into the motive. It says there is a juvenile court proceeding underway involving the Hansen's child and Endress's child. The Hansen's child is accused of sensitive crimes related to abusing Endress's child. Right before the crash last week, Endress received records from Cottage Grove police about the case. Hours later, he drove into 3 members of the Hansen family, one being the child involved. The crash killed Dr. Hansen, their dog, and injured Hansen's husband and child. When speaking to police, Hansen's husband says he believes Endress meant to hit the family in response to the allegations. Witnesses say Endress drove straight into the family at a high speed. His next court date is set for May 14th. The Florida man accused of plotting a mass shooting with the Abundant Life school shooter will stay in jail until his trial. The judge denied 22-year-old Damian Allen bond after hearing disturbing messages he allegedly exchanged with the teenage school shooter. Allen's lawyer argued he stopped texting the shooter months before she carried out her plan. She added the many real-looking police uniforms, legally owned guns, and other gear were part of his online gaming persona. Allen remains behind bars and under a risk protection order. The sheriff's office says his mental health history poses a danger. Backyard poultry has reached Wisconsin. CDC says 1 person here in the state is among 7 sickened across 6 states. The outbreak is tied to backyard chickens and ducks, which can carry salmonella even if they look clean and healthy. Most symptoms include diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps. CDC advises washing your hands after handling birds, supplies, or eggs, and wearing separate shoes when working in your coop. Well, the warm and sunny weather continues this afternoon. First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano is live on our weather patio here in Madison with his certified most accurate forecast. Beautiful day out there.
Yeah, Josh, right now it definitely feels a little bit like summer out here. As I look up, there's not a single cloud in the sky. Okay, there's one back there, but mostly sunny skies in general across southern Wisconsin. And taking a look at the temperatures, lower 70s, upper 60s. It is actually warmer closer to the lake as well. Warmer than what we thought. We had projected 60s, but it looks like that lake breeze is kind of keeping those the lake breeze is not keeping those temperatures colder. So very nice across southern Wisconsin, and temperatures compared to this time yesterday, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer across the area. We also are going to continue to see those clear skies for much of the day, just a few clouds here and there. That's going to continue into the overnight hours, but we will see some cloudy skies at times for Wednesday. But looking at the rest of today, high temperatures will be in the middle 70s, could even get close to 80 for places further northwest towards La Crosse. And as we take a look at the overnight lows, it is going to be a little bit of a mild night with lows only dropping into the middle and lower 50s. And tomorrow, despite the cloud cover, it's still going to be very nice, maybe a few degrees cooler. Small chance of rain, but we should remain dry. So I'll continue talking about the forecast for the rest of this week, but it's looking much of the same. A lot of very nice days are still expected. The details on that coming up a little bit later.
No complaints for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, none from me either.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, happening today at the White House, President Trump is meeting with Canada's new prime minister. As a top trade partner, tariffs are expected to be at the top of the agenda. Under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Canada announced retaliatory tariffs on tens of billions of dollars of U.S. goods. Business leaders say not reaching an agreement is not an option since the North American economies are intertwined.
If the issue is of a trade deficit, which we can dispute whether there is or isn't one, but let's address what actually needs to be addressed and not morph all kinds of other issues to make this more complicated.
Among the dozens of U.S. products being impacted by Canadian tariffs are orange juice, bourbon, beer, and wine, as well as peanut butter, clothing, and even motorcycles. Secured your real ID, and the scramble is on to get one. Tomorrow is the deadline for Americans to get the particular form of identification. If you don't have a real ID or another accepted form of identification, such as a passport, you can face delays at airport security. You can expect additional screening and the possibility of not being allowed beyond the security checkpoint if your identity cannot be verified there. Spring hydrant flushing is starting in McFarland, so residents should be careful when doing laundry this week. With the flushing, your water could be discolored, and if you do your laundry during the flushing, you could end up with stains in your clothes. McFarland Public Works says to run your water until it clears. They also say to double check your washing machine before doing any laundry. The DNR requires annual hydrant clearing to remove mineral deposits and circulate pocketed air and water. Hydrant flushing should be finished by Friday. Time is running out to apply for Wisconsin's Home Energy Assistance Program. The heating season ends next Thursday, but eligible residents can still help with heating and electric bills. Benefits are income-based, and crisis assistance is available year-round. The program helps reduce energy burdens and may also cover HVAC repairs and weatherization. You can apply online at energybenefit.wi.gov. Still ahead for us on a Tuesday afternoon, a historic shoe deal, plus what a new report from the U.S. Treasury Department watchdog is saying about IRS auditors.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Moving forward.
The Internal Revenue Service has lost about a third of its auditors. A new report from a U.S. Treasury Department watchdog says around 3,600 auditors either took the Trump administration up on its deferred resignation program or were fired due to DOGE cuts. Experts say losing such a large number of auditors could impact the federal government's ability to collect tax revenue. In an historic shoe deal, Skechers is being sold to private equity company 3G Capital for more than $9 billion. Skechers currently has more than 5,000 retail stores, and the company says it earns around $9 billion annually. In a statement, Skechers said it believes the deal will help the company meet the needs of its consumers and enable long-term growth. And Bush's Beans is teaming up with Bluey, the BBC Studios global hit show about the lovable Australian blue heeler and her family. Bush's Bluey baked beans are gluten-free, fat-free, and vegetarian. Cans hit store shelves this month. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 300 points, NASDAQ down 125, and the S&P 500 down this hour 32. Right now, our call for action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You can call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Coming up next, we have your first warn forecast, and Pam Yankee has the egg numbers. Then later on Live at 4, Dr. Jeff Potoff on why new research shows women cancer survivors are more depressed and fatigued than their male counterparts. Welcome back at noon. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Farm Babe, it has been way too long since I've seen your face.
Dude, I'll tell you what, here we are enjoying a beautiful day in Wisconsin. I've been outside. It's actually getting a little bit on the warm side, but it's a sign that our Wisconsin farmers are definitely moving forward on spring planting. I'll get to those numbers in just a minute. First, I want to congratulate some of the women in agriculture. The Association of Women in Agriculture on campus recognized some of their mentors, their peers, the women that are making the state outstanding when it comes to agriculture. And congratulations, we'll start with Sydney Flick. She was named the Outstanding Alumnus Award winner. Sydney and her husband and family are dairy farming in the Waunakee area. Sid's been very involved with Jazzy Jerseys since she was a kid and very involved on campus with the Association of Women in Agriculture. Next up, Brenna Johnson. She was presented the Friend of AWA. She's been involved with the student chapter, kind of helping them as far as house maintenance, updates so on and so forth, taking care of the girls, if you will, down on campus. Congratulations, Brenna. Val Gaffney, she and her family out at Gaffney Family Cattle in Barneveld, she was selected as the honored guest, recognized for the dedication that she's given as far as chapter activities, any resources that might be needed. So Val Gaffney and Gaffney Family Cattle recognized as their honored guest. Emma Voss was named the outstanding senior. She is getting ready to graduate with a degree in agricultural and applied economics this May. And she's been coordinator, treasurer, active with Breakfast on the Farm activities. So Emma Voss named outstanding senior. Some of the other folks that were recognized last night include Rona Morton-Balmer down in Janesville. She was given the Founders Award. And Katie Katzman was named the outstanding woman in agriculture. Both all well-deserved honors for those women in agriculture. Congratulations. I mentioned that farmers are going to be definitely hitting the roads for sure. Make sure that you're exercising caution if you are going to be sharing the road with this farm equipment. As of Sunday, 16% of our corn was planted, 17% of our soybeans in the ground, 55% of our potatoes already planted in the central sands, and the winter wheat is responding with the moisture and the heat. 63% of that crop called good to excellent. That's up 5 percentage points in just a week's time. But like I said, be careful on the roads. Barrel cheese today up 1/4 cent at 179 1/4. 40-pound block cheese up a penny at 178 1/2. Double A butter up 1/4. $2.34 a pound. I believe that I will be around to see your smiling face for the next few days, Joshy. And with this kind of sunshine, better be nothing but smiles on your face.
Oh, you better believe it. This is my kind of weather. We're just going to take it all in before all that heat and humidity comes right into Wisconsin. We know it's coming, right?
Yes, I know. I agree with you completely. Get out there and enjoy it.
All right, Pam. Good to see you. Thanks so much.
You bet.
We have breaking news right now from the Dane County Jail, where deputies discovered an unresponsive person in their housing unit this morning. Deputies and in-person house medical staff say they started those life-saving efforts right away before they were joined by paramedics from the Madison Fire Department. Despite those efforts, though, the individual was pronounced dead. The Madison Police Department will lead the investigation in coordination with the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office. Well, a great week to get outside and enjoy the weather. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano with the first warned forecast. You heard the farm babe. Hard to complain out there, Jacob.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to be very nice. It may actually get a little bit warmer by next week, but in general, we're going to see highs in the 60s and 70s going forward with sunshine nearly every day. You know, we will see a few days with a little bit more cloud cover, but we're going to see sunny skies at points every single day going forward with very dry weather expected for the foreseeable future. Now, taking a look at the cloud cover and small chance of rain over the next couple of days, we are going to see clear skies for the rest of today into tonight, but Wednesday we will see some clouds develop during the afternoon hours. Not expected to see much in the form of cloud cover, and further southwest we could see some light rain, but most of it will stay south in Iowa, and then we'll be clear by the time we get to the later overnight hours Wednesday, and Thursday is expected to be mostly clear. And continuing forward, clear skies expected Friday, maybe a few clouds at times. Friday night into Saturday, we could see a few pop-up showers, maybe even some isolated storms, but notice most of the area probably won't see any rainfall. We're going to continue to see mostly sunny skies in general throughout the weekend as well and into next week. So looking at the precipitation chances over the next 7 days, a small increase for tomorrow, but again, most of it will stay to the southwest in Iowa, and then a small increase for Friday night through Saturday night. But in general, we're going to continue to see mostly dry weather. Now, temperatures during this whole time are going to be very nice, middle to upper 70s today, could even get into the lower 80s further northwest towards La Crosse. And as I mentioned, we're going to see plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow will be a little bit cooler, especially closer to Lake Michigan. High temperatures may only be in the 50s, but upper 60s to lower 70s for much of the area, despite the fact that we will see more clouds. But we're still going to see sunshine at some points. But looking further for Thursday, we're going to see complete sunshine return, but it will be a little bit on the cooler side for Thursday. But again, still, I mean, middle 60s is not really that cool. It's just cool compared to the 70s we're going to see today. Mostly sunny and seasonable. And fast forwarding towards your Mother's Day weekend, it will be back up into the middle 70s. Will be a little bit summer-like at times, especially on Sunday, where we'll see more sunshine. Again, a small chance of a shower on Saturday, but in general, we're really not expected to see see much in the form of rainfall. Both days are going to be very, very nice. And those summer-like conditions, they are expected to continue for the foreseeable future. Again, we will see some 60s the next couple of days, specifically tomorrow and Thursday, maybe Friday as well. But from the weekend to next week, we'll see middle to upper 70s and possibly lower 80s for your high temperatures. And we're still not expecting much rainfall as we head into next week, with more almost complete sunshine for much of those days. So it really is hard to complain. If anything, it might get a little too warm at times, but beyond that, right now, we're not too concerned about drought conditions forming because we just saw a lot of rainfall at the end of last week. Obviously, if this were to continue, we would start to see those conditions form. But for right now, we'll just take the nice weather and, just got to soak it up. Every day the next 10 days is going to be very, very nice.
Oh, and with all that sun, we're really going to start to see things grow too, which is great.
Yeah, I have actually already seen, especially some of those, the grass has really started to bloom. And sooner rather than later, we're going to see those trees become very green as well.
Back to life here in Wisconsin. All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, today, Howard has a recipe perfect for Mother's Day.
I hope you remembered that this Sunday is Mother's Day. It's the one holiday you better not forget. After all, Mom was always there with a bowl of hot chicken soup when you had the sniffles, and to wipe away those tears when you needed a shoulder to cry on. With that in mind, we have a simple casserole to say, thanks, Mom, for all you've done. The first thing we do is add some heavy cream to some sugar and egg yolks. After that's mixed well, we add in about 6 croissants that we tore into small pieces, along with an equal amount of white baking chips and dried cranberries. After tossing everything together, we pour it into a baking dish and into the oven it goes. And when the center is set, we top it with a bit of brown sugar, and in no time, it's done. And when you serve this for brunch on Sunday, you can bet Mom will love how ooey gooey delicious it is. So here's what I suggest. Go to our website and get the recipe for what we call croissant bread pudding, so you'll have it on hand for Mother's Day or anytime you need something super special. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today I want to wish my mom and all moms a Mother's Day filled with lots of, ooh, it's so good.
After the break, Angie Edge from Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin returns with a new recipe to try out this spring. Welcome back. Angie Edge from Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin is back with us this afternoon. Hi, Angie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, always looking forward to this. And what are we cooking up for May?
Well, we are focusing on fresh cheeses, fresh produce. It's that time of year where everything is fresh. We have farmers markets and everything's looking bright and colorful. So we have a queso fresco cheese that we're featuring today.
Yum.
I'm very excited. And it's a very simple recipe to make that's chipotle lime tacos with some fresh ingredients. So first I'll talk a little bit about the cheese. This is the queso fresco cheese made locally. Both the La Morenta and the La Viajera are made locally in Monroe.
Wow.
So very local. It's a cheese that doesn't melt, but it just crumbles into kind of a milky goodness. So it's very popular for tacos, enchiladas, salads.
Nice little topping.
Yeah. And it's actually the most popular Hispanic cheese that we make here in Wisconsin. It's the top selling cheese. So we make 30% of all the Hispanic cheeses right here in Wisconsin.
Really?
So
Oh, that's
we
fascinating.
are, in fact, the world of cheese here in Wisconsin.
Of course.
And here's the tacos. It has the base layer of the rotisserie chicken, and then there's a homemade salsa on top. So very simple to make on a busy weeknight. And then you're going to top it with a little arugula. We have some fresh radishes, and then some of this queso fresco cheese, of course. So
Lots of flavor.
Very easy. And of course, you can put some more sour cream on it and more cheese if you'd like.
Kind of make it for whatever you want, right?
Yeah, just super simple, easy to make. It's part of our Welcome to Wisconsin promotion that's happening here in Wisconsin and nationwide, really helping cheese people find their next favorite cheese, the cheese obsessed. Here in Wisconsin, we've been making cheese for a very long time, 180 years.
We're pros.
Actually, longer than we've even been a state. So we have so many great varieties to share with our viewers today.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Angie, thank you so much.
Thank
Always looking
you.
for that proudly Wisconsin badge, too.
Yes, of course.
Let's send it over to Jacob now for a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to see temperatures drop a little bit for tomorrow and Thursday, but they're still going to be very nice. And as we look towards next week, we're going to have high temperatures in the middle to upper 70s, maybe lower 80s with plenty of sunshine. Very little rain is expected.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for joining us, everyone.